Okay, what does samurai wear on their feet? You think you know? Wait till a bit further on and we'll let you know. Right, imagine one of the Queen's guards, you know, with the big black hats, is stood there on parade, but instead of having shiny boots, they've got like military campaign sort of desert boots on. And you'd be like, okay, big black hat, red coat, combat boots as opposed to dress shoes. But okay, that doesn't seem right. What about if the same guard with the black hat and the red coat had a Nazi German helmet on instead? Or how about a chef, instead of the chef's hat, they've got a hard hat on? You would notice immediately that something was wrong. You're like, that person's wearing the wrong thing. Yep. Or if that an Olympic swimmer ready at the swimming board actually had a pair of flippers on to race with, yeah? It would be strikingly out of context. Now, this is the same for samurai. So the samurai, when you look at a samurai, his armor tells you things. It tells you esoteric things about them. It can tell you the type of clan he's from. It can tell you the status. By the weapon handle he's got, you can tell his status. All of these things will scream out for a samurai. But what we're talking about today is actually the footwear of samurai. And we're going to be working from this, which is the Heigu Yoho, which is the Book of Samurai, Samurai Arms, Armor, and the Tactics of Warfare. And we're going to be on page 394. Now, I'm going to read for you just a short bit about the different types of footwear. So you got asakutsu, wooden footwear. Kanokutsu, footwear to be worn on official court events. Fukagutsu, long leather boots to be worn in muddy ground, and hoka, half boots for riding horses and to be worn by people ranked between aristocrat and samurai. And what about this? In ancient times, aristocratic samurai wore footwear in accordance with the imperial positions that they had, which differentiated from what modern soldiers wear, meaning samurai of the 1600s. So also there are momitabi, which are bare fur or coloured fur. Okay, so what we have here, guys, is this. You know those straw sandals that you always imagine samurai are wearing? Well, actually, they're not always wearing those. Sometimes they have hobnailed leather soles. Sometimes they have fur shoes on. At courts, they have different swords with different shoes. So if you went to a samurai's home, you would see he'd have his court sword maybe next to his court shoes. The same as a modern soldier would have his dress sword next to his dress shoes and his machine gun next to his combat boots. Yeah, it wouldn't be a case of, you know, swapping them around too much. Of course, the analogy doesn't work always, but the point here is that it would be noticeable to everyone else that something's wrong. So what you have to think of is that the samurai had different shoes for different occasions, just like a good lady does. She's got shoes for every occasion, I should say. So when a samurai is in high-ranking talks, he might be wearing specific times of Chinese footwear, or he might be wearing bare fur footwear, or different coloured footwear. If he's out on field, he might have like snowshoes on, or he might have like really hard leather hobnailed stuff on. He might have long boots. He might have half shoes for horse riding. He might have just the normal straw sandals, which they use for everyday life. A samurai carries different pairs of shoes. Of course, most samurai, or some samurai, have horses. If not, there's a pack horse, because there's a big difference between war horse and pack horse. Samurai, often we don't see this, but samurai normally have extra sandals from their belts, or at least their servants would have them hanging from their belts. We'd have to focus in on get a clearer picture of that. And we know that way back in the day, something I keep harping on about but nobody really cares, is when you look at the Jesuit accounts, it talks about how samurai take their shoes off outside, so in respect. So everybody gets this idea that samurai go to the door and they take their shoes off before they go in a house, which is true. However, there's also the footwear removal outside, and so they don't get their feet dirty, they actually stand on the edge of their feet and bow to a senior person. If a person's got an umbrella parasol up, they pull them down, take their feet out onto the edge and bow like that. Or that a lot of them are wearing half sandals. Shinobi are using half sandals, just basically half flip-flops. Imagine getting a pair of flip-flops, cutting them in half and just wearing that and walking on the tips of your balls of your feet for most of the day. We don't never see that gait of walking when people are redoing Japanese stuff. I have to get a pair of half sandals and have a go. And lastly, even talks about how Shinobi wear sandals made out of human hair so that they're silent when they go in and they infiltrate. All of it in this book, guys. Right. Don't forget to go over to Scott's channel from Sengoku Studies, and he's also, there's only me and Scott left now in this series. We're in a playlist. There's just me and Scott left now, and Scott's done you an introduction to footwear, so I'm jumping off that one, and that is November's topic for the Samurai Arms and Armour. Next month is the last topic, and I'm not sure if we're doing general weapons. I'm not sure. I've got to talk to Scott yet, but hopefully you've been following this series, and it's the playlist, and me and Scott, last men standing. So it's a shame we didn't have more people involved, but next year I'm hoping to change it up a bit, and we'll get some more people getting back involved, and I'll restart again trying to get people to do more videos. So get yourself over to Scott's channel and have a look at his newest video.